So if you're looking for a step-by-step blueprint to go from 0 to 10K per month with Amazon KDP in just 1 year, then this video is for you. So if you're new to the channel, my name is Sean and I started self-publishing in 2016. So I've been doing this for over 9 years now, and I hit $10,000 per month after 10 months of publishing. I then went on to build a Amazon KDP business that made multiple six figures a year for multiple years. Then I eventually sold that account for $820,000, and I started another KDP account, which I am actively working on right now, and that is also doing six figures a year. If you don't believe anything I say, I have a whole playlist called KDP Income Reports. You can look it up on my channel, where I did monthly income reports for my first account as well as my second account for multiple years. So Amazon KDP absolutely changed my life. It allowed me to basically travel the world. The past couple of years, I've been living in multiple different countries, working online. This is me in Bali. This is me in Thailand. I also been to China, Europe, many different places as well. But most importantly, right, more than my own results, what's more important to me is I've helped over 1,700 people in my coaching program to also make money with this business. We have students doing $7,000 in a month, $5,000 in a month, $6,000 in a month, 3,000 euros in a month, and much more. So if you're watching this video and you're brand new to Amazon KDP, then I'm gonna give you once again a 1-year blueprint for you to follow. So let's get right into it. So starting with, what is Amazon KDP? Well, Amazon KDP is Amazon's self-publishing platform. Anyone can sign up. There's no sign-up fee. There's no monthly fees, nothing. And anyone can use the platform to upload their book file. So this is just going to be a PDF file. And once the customer buys the book, that's when Amazon will print the book in a book format if it's a paperback copy, and then they will ship it to the customer. Sometimes customer buys it in ebook or audiobook format, which means there's no printing, it's just digital copy. But either way, Amazon handles the printing and shipping of all formats. So why do I think Amazon KDP is the best business to start, especially if you are a beginner? Because before I found Amazon KDP, I've tried multiple different business models. For 4 years straight, I was failing in a bunch of different business models until I found Amazon KDP. So first, you have no inventory management. Like I said, Amazon only prints the book as a paperback once you make a sale, which means there's no inventory. If you do physical product-based businesses, this is something you have to learn as well as you have to pay for it. Next is there's no shipping and handling, because Amazon, once again, does this for you, right? This is something you also have to learn in other businesses. You also have to pay for, right? Next is there's no customer service, which is insane. I don't know any other business where you don't have to do customer service. Well, in this case, you don't have to because Amazon does it for you. It has high profit margins because we are dealing with digital products, right? So with digital products, there's no manufacturing cost. There's no other costs like, once again, inventory, shipping and handling, other stuff, so that you have a higher profit margin. Next is low learning curve, because you don't have to learn how to do inventory, how to do shipping and handling, how to do customer service, right? Because you don't have to do that, there's a lot less stuff that you have to learn to get started with this business. And that ties into low startup costs as well, because there's no fee for inventory, no fee for shipping. Basically, what I'm trying to say is Amazon handles a lot of things for you, and they do it all for free, which makes it a lot easier for beginners to come in and get started in this business. Another great thing is Amazon KDP is open in almost every single country in the world. So even if you're outside of US, UK, Canada, wherever, you can sign up and do this business. As an example, I got many students in India absolutely crushing it. Many students in Europe, in South America, wherever you are. So if you're wondering when is the best time to start this business, well, I truly believe it's never been a better time than right now to start, because Amazon is investing heavily in the technology behind ChatGPT. Basically, AI is, as we all know, it's basically exploding, right? And Amazon's actually investing in AI technology. They are embracing AI, and we can use this to our advantage in this business, because AI is absolutely revolutionizing publishing, right? Book production has become cheaper and faster, which is unheard of. Like, a business getting easier over the years, you never hear this. Usually it gets more expensive because of inflation and stuff like that. But with KDP, you can actually create better books faster thanks to AI, okay? So there are a lot of, automation softwares and new tools coming up, which makes it a lot easier for beginners. Once again, it's less reliant on outsourcing and paying for ghostwriters, because now a lot of these books you can start writing yourself, even if you're not a professional writer, because AI can support you in the process. And for this reason, there's a lot less outsourcing costs, which back in the days when I started, I had to pay ghostwriters because I don't know how to write the books myself. So I had to pay a good chunk of money to the ghostwriters. Well, now you can write a lot of these books yourself with AI, which is basically free. So you save a lot of money there too. So now that you understand that this is a really, really good time to start this business, the next question is, what kind of books should you publish? Well, what you want to understand is there are essentially three types of books, right? Starting with the low content books. These are the journals, planners, blank pages. Basically, there are minimal content inside the book. Often these are, once again, blank journals, like there's nothing, okay? And these books are really easy to create. And for that reason, a lot of people are doing it because when something is easy to do, everyone does it, right? So you have the highest form of competition, and because of that, often you make the least amount of money. And this is at the bottom of this pyramid, as you can see, right? The pyramid is bigger at the bottom because you have more competition. Next is medium content books. So these are activity books, coloring books, puzzle books. There are a little bit more content inside. It's not just blank pages. There are, activities, coloring pages, stuff like that. And because these books are a little harder to create, less people are doing it, right? So you have lower competition and oftentimes you make a little bit more money. And finally, you have what we call the high content books. So these are, books with a lot of content inside, often full pages of text or activities and stuff like that, right? So like fiction books, nonfiction books, workbooks, these, once again, like 150 pages of full content. Now, compared to other book types, these books are the hardest to create. And for that reason, the least amount of people are doing it. And oftentimes you can make more money with this, which I'm going to explain to you throughout this video. But it's not just because you have the least amount of competition. It's also because you can price these books higher. You can sell it in multiple different formats and stuff like that. So now let's go into the 1-year timeline. Now keep in mind that this 1-year timeline more so applies to medium and high content books. If you're doing low content books, the timeline may not apply to you. It might take a little bit longer, but the strategy you're going to learn in this video will still help. All right, so the first 7 days, what you want to do is to identify profitable niches and keywords. So it's going to be the research phase. When it comes to doing niche research, the best niche to go into is something that you're actually interested in, plus something that the market wants. So there's demand for it, meaning customers are buying books on the topic, right? If you just go off of, market demand, just what customers like, but you're not interested in the topic at all, then oftentimes you'll make money, but you're going to burn out pretty quick. And if you just go off of your interest, something you're interested in, but there's no market demand at all, then what's going to happen is you're not going to make any money. So preferably you have a balance of both. If you have to choose, you should go off of what the market wants though, not really what you're interested in, if you want to make money. So what you want to do is to brain dump your passion, your hobbies, your experiences, pretty much all the ideas that comes to your mind, take out a pen and paper and write it down. Now, you always confirm demand of each topic on Amazon before creating a book. Because if you don't do this, you basically will waste so much time and energy creating the book just for it to not sell because you didn't confirm if people even wanted a book on that topic. Believe it or not, so many people make this mistake, like a ton of people, okay? You're probably watching this and you're like, oh, I'm not gonna make this mistake because I know people are interested in this topic. This is a cool topic. And I guarantee half of you who will skip this step, your book will not sell. So how do you validate your topic? Well, it's as simple as typing that in your Amazon search bar. So in my case, if I was interested in writing a book on decluttering, right? Then I'll just type in decluttering and I'm gonna check what other books are selling on this topic. Now I have this paid tool called BookBeam. So it tells me what we call the bestsellers rank. This is how well the book is selling and also how much the book is making every single day. Now, you don't have to get BookBeam. You can just get a free tool, which is this one that tells you the bestsellers rank. And that is called DS Amazon Quick View, which is this one. It's a Chrome plugin. So just Google DS Amazon Quick View and you can download this. So what you want to do is you want to find multiple books on page 1 that is actually selling. So what is considered selling well? Well, anything below 80,000 BSR. So once again, this number is the bestsellers rank. You want this number to be below 80,000. If the book is doing around 80,000 BSR, then on average, that book is making around $500 a month. This all depends on the price and the type of book and stuff, but that is a pretty safe average. And $500 a month per book is a good benchmark to aim. So once again, this one is way below 80,000, and for that reason, it's doing way more than $500 a month. This is doing $200 a day, which means it's doing $6,000 a month. And this is just the audiobook version. They make more from the paperback and the Kindle and stuff like that. So we have another book, 2,000 in the bestsellers rank, so way below 80,000. Another one way below 80,000. So, now we see a pattern that decluttering books are selling well. So that is how we can confirm demand. And I use decluttering as an example all the time because I don't want to reveal too many niches because I have a lot of students in different niches, right? But you essentially do the same thing. If you're looking up ketogenic diet, you just type ketogenic diet. If you're looking up, coloring books, you just type in coloring books, right? And you want to make sure that that topic is actually already selling. So you want to do this step for every single topic idea that you wrote down. And to be honest, this research process will probably take less than 7 days, but we're trying to be conservative. So I'm just going to say 7 days. You're working a full-time job, you're doing this on the side. So let's just say it takes 7 days to do this, which takes us to day 8 to day 38. So the next 30 days, we're going to spend creating the book. So now that we identified decluttering as a profitable topic, right? We have to go and create the book on it. Now, in terms of the options for creating, you can obviously create it yourself. You can write the books yourself, right? If you have the writing skills. And like I said earlier, with AI, it's getting easier and easier. But if you don't have the time for it, you can also outsource it to someone who can do it for you, like hiring a ghostwriter. This is how I started, and myself and many of my students are still using ghostwriters. And obviously you can do both, right? You can have the ghostwriter write the book, and while they're writing the book, you can start writing another book, and that is completely up to you. So before you start writing the book or have the ghostwriter start writing the book, you have to have some sort of idea of how the book should be structured, right? What kind of problems you should solve in the book. Because when people buy books, they're always looking for a solution to their problem, right? When people buy decluttering books, it's because their home is probably a mess and they're stressed out about it, and they want a solution to that problem. So your chapters inside the book should be dedicated to solving that. So in order for us to research what those problems are and what other stuff we should include or not include in our books, all we're gonna do is analyze our best-selling competitors. So we go back to Amazon here, and we will start opening up our competitor books that are doing well. And from here, we can get a lot of data, like how long is the book? This is 240 pages. If the other one's also 200 pages, then that tells us that we should probably aim to be around 200 pages as well. What kind of trim size they're using. So this is a 5x8 book. There are many different trim size for a book. You can do 5x8, 6x9, 8.5x11. So, if everyone else is doing 5x8, you should probably use 5x8 as well. So these are what people are saying, what they liked about the book. And if you see a lot of patterns of, the same thing that people are mentioning over and over on what they liked, you should probably add that in your book. And the opposite is true as well, right? If people are complaining about the same thing, then you should probably avoid that from your book. Now, a quick hack is that you can actually just copy this entire thing, and you can go to ChatGPT and just paste these reviews and say, these are reviews for my competitor book on decluttering. Can you find patterns on what people are liking and summarize them for me, right? And I just paste the reviews, and you can get a summarized version, basically relatable and authentic voice, engaging and humorous tone, practical real life strategies, and much more. So, you don't have to read through the entire reviews. You can get a summarized version, which will save you some time. So that is a quick hack for the review, but you also want to go here, read sample, and you can get ideas on what chapters you should include in your book and what chapters you should not include. Now, I want you guys to understand that I am not here telling you to just rip off your competitors, but it is a very good idea to model success. I mean, they're obviously very, very successful, right? They did the research, they know what customers want, and they put that in their book. So we can learn from that and take the best parts and also add our own, stuff into it to create a unique book. So do not just copy, but you can definitely get inspiration from them. So once again, do not copy every single chapter from a competitor, but instead what you can do is to take a few good ideas from multiple books, right? A couple chapters from this one that you liked, a couple chapters from another book that you liked, and just combine it into your book. Also read the reviews, see what customers like, definitely incorporate that into your book. And you can combine your competitors' insights to create a high quality and original book. And you can combine all the best chapters from your competitors, but also add your unique touches to it. And now your book has basically the best parts of all your competitors, plus something new, right? And that is how you can have the best book in the market. You can also use ChatGPT to help you come up with the book structure or the book outline. I simply asked, give me a detailed 8-chapter outline for my book on decluttering based on this, right? Based on the research that we've done here. So we got chapter 1, the Clutter Chronicles, my journey from overwhelmed to organized, right? And we have this sub-chapters explaining what exactly we should add. Chapter 2, decluttering mindset, shifting your perspective for lasting change. Chapter 3, the 5-minute rule, all the way up to chapter 8. Pretty good, I would say, for what you can get in literal seconds. Obviously, from here, you want to add your own stuff. Don't just copy paste from AI as well. Don't be lazy like that. But this is a great starting point. So now that you have the outline, you can start writing the book if you're writing the book yourself. Or if you'd rather have the ghostwriter write the book for you, then what you want to do is to take your book outline and send it over to the ghostwriter so that they can start filling out these chapters. If you're wondering what's the best ghostwriting company, which one you should use for, I do have a step-by-step video, which is this one. I'll just leave a link in the description below. Now, if you're wondering how long should your book be, if you're doing high content nonfiction books, typically around 150 to 200 pages, which is around 30,000 words, is a good place. Now, let's just say that you don't want to publish these nonfiction books and you want to do more medium content stuff. Maybe English is not your first language and you're not confident in working with books that has a lot of text, and you rather work with books that, more so does designs, right? If that's the case, then you can do more medium content coloring books or puzzle books. Like this brand right here mainly publishes activity books and puzzle books. Like we have stress relief adult coloring books, calligraphy book for beginners, mindfulness word search, and a lot more. And they're doing pretty good, making over $30,000 in a month. So if you want to learn how to create puzzle books like these, then I do have a step-by-step tutorial, so I'll leave a link once again in the description. You can follow that step-by-step video to create the book yourself. Or once again, if you don't want to deal with creating the book yourself, you can outsource it to someone else. Just like there's a ghostwriter to write the book for you, there are freelancers that's going to create these activity books for you. So as an example, this gig right here can create an activity book with the book cover for you for $150. So you can take a look at the samples, see what kind of books they create. And if you like it, you can order from them. So if you want to try it out, I'll leave a link below. Now for coloring books, you can start using AI. As an example, this book is a not AI generated, but you can see this is how the interior looks. And these are some coloring pages that I created with AI. So it looks pretty similar, although there are a lot of small AI errors. So if you're going to use AI, you definitely should be using Photoshop to improve the content before you actually upload it. So at the moment, AI is not perfect when it comes to coloring books, but it is getting better rapidly. And who knows, maybe in a couple months, you can create a perfect coloring book illustration with AI. And of course, AI does a lot more than just coloring books, right? I showed you earlier, and that's just one thing. There are so many things you can do in the publishing business with AI. So it's definitely smart to start learning how to use AI properly. But with the combination of creating the book yourself, hiring other people to do it for you, and using AI, you can pretty much create most types of books. So let's just say that I'm creating a book on decluttering, and I hired a ghostwriter to create the book for me. Typically, to create a high content book, it takes about 3 to 4 weeks for the ghostwriter to finish writing, which means you're basically waiting for 3 to 4 weeks until they're finished. So what should you do during the downtime? Well, what I recommend you do is not to just wait around and waste your time, right? Spend that time doing something productive. And I call these DIY books because these are books you can do it yourself, make it yourself, right? And we're talking simple coloring books, medium content books, and once again, these puzzle books. As an example, we have this book, Interesting Facts for Curious Minds, 1,572 random but mind-blowing facts about history, science, pop culture, everything, right? So this book is making $349 to $590 a day, which means it's doing between $10,000 to $18,000 a month just from this one book, just from the paperback, not even counting the other stuff, right? And if you look inside here, the content of the book is ridiculously simple. Like it's just one random facts after another. So this is basically a music facts. So we have the harmonica is the world's top selling instrument. The kazoo is often a person's first musical instrument. Spoons have been used as musical instrument for centuries and whatnot, pretty much the entire book. And these random facts are something you can get really easily with AI nowadays, right? So I just asked, give me 50 random but interesting animal facts. So I changed this to animal, but you can do it for any category, right? Then in the next sentence, explain a bit more about it because I wanted, not just the facts, but a little bit of explanation. So just like that, we got octopuses have 3 hearts. 2 pump blood to the gills while the third pumps it to the rest of the body. And the third heart actually stops beating when they swim. Very, very interesting, right? So you can compile these information, put it into a book, and just like that, you have your own random fact book. Now, keep in mind, AI is still not perfect. I'm sure a lot of these facts are true, but you still want to fact check each one because they might be wrong. But nonetheless, you can see how you can create a lot of these books DIY nowadays. So that's what I recommend is while you're waiting for the ghostwriter, you spend your time creating these books yourself to learn the skills of publishing, right? Get your feet wet and start making money in between. So once you get your book back from a ghostwriter, from day 39 to day 45, we're going to spend this time doing the final touches. So what you want to do is to proofread and edit your book. Make sure there are no typos or mistakes, right? Don't just rely on the ghostwriter. You will still have to check the entire book to make sure there's no mistakes, but also if you're happy with the writing quality, because not every single ghostwriter is, 5 out of 5, right? You still have to work with them, make sure it's good, okay? Next is to check for plagiarisms. That is why it's very important to hire good ghostwriters or use good ghostwriting companies, not just random ghostwriters out there, but you still want to do your due diligence. So you can use tools like Grammarly to check for plagiarism. Now, after that is done, it's time to get your book covers. So you can actually do this ahead of time in the downtime period. You don't have to do it after the book is ready, but this is something that I highly recommend you outsource. Even though you can create book covers yourself on Canva, book cover is the #1 most important factor when it comes to whether you're gonna make sales or not. So if you're not a designer, I highly recommend you just outsource. And you don't have to spend hundreds of dollars for a book cover, right? You can actually start with just 10 bucks, 20 bucks. I'll leave a link to this video talking about the best budget Fiverr book cover designers. So you can get started with that. But as you make more money, you can reinvest back into hiring better and better designers to keep improving your quality. Next, you want to format your book. You want to make sure the book interior looks nice. So for this one, I do have a step-by-step tutorial. You can check out this video, but you want to format for both ebook and KDP print, unless you're doing a low content book or a puzzle book where it's just paperback. If you can do all formats, you should be doing it. In my case, Decluttering is a high content nonfiction book, which means I can sell it for ebook, paperback, and also audiobook and even hardcover, right? So there's a lot of formats I can do, and I definitely should be maximizing it. And that is why high content books typically make more money, because of all the other formats. But going back to it, when it comes to book formatting, you can follow this video and do it yourself, or if you don't even want to deal with it, you can outsource this process by paying someone else, just like every other step in the publishing business. So for day 46 to day 60, now we move into the pre-launch phase. So pre-launch is basically preparing to publish your book and launch your book, right? So what you want to do is you want to sign up to Amazon KDP and upload your book, but don't publish it. You're going to just leave it in draft. Okay, and we're gonna do other stuff in the pre-launch first. So you wanna join different social media groups. So if your book is about decluttering, you can join decluttering Facebook groups and where people hang out that's also interested in decluttering, right? So you can find a Facebook group or other social media groups for your topic. Now you want to let everyone know your new book is coming out. You basically make a post or engage in comments saying, hey guys, I'm writing a book on this topic. It's coming out soon. If you guys are interested in reading this book for free, I'd be happy to give it to you for free in exchange for an honest review. You will get people reaching out saying, I'm interested, right? Because it's a free book. Then you'll send them a free PDF copy. And then once the book is live, you'll follow up with them and get your review. By the way, if you want a video tutorial on how to do this, I'll leave a link to this video in the description. So that's how it works. But during the pre-launch phase, you want to start planting the seeds, meaning you want to, start engaging in different social media groups and let people know that you have a book coming out, which takes us to day 61 to day 75, which is the launch phase. So this is when you officially publish the book. So you're going to hit publish on KDP and your book will be live on Amazon. So once the book is live on Amazon, that's when you go back to your reviewers that you passed out the free copy of your book to, and you will ask for the review, right? So you want to go back to everyone who received the free copy and say, hey, how did you like it? If you don't mind, it'll mean a lot to me if you can just spend a minute leaving a review for this book on Amazon. Here's the link to it, and you send them the Amazon link, okay? And you want to aim to get at least 10 reviews per book. That is the minimum. If you can get a lot more, that's great, but at least try to get 10 reviews. So once you have enough reviews, that's when you go and get more sales, right? You have to get the reviews first because it's very hard to sell your book on Amazon if you have 0 reviews. Essentially, you have 0 social proof. That's why reviews comes first. But now we have the minimum amount of reviews, we want to move on to marketing. So what I recommend you do is to initially price your book lower than what you want to. Okay. And so your royalties are going to be a lot lower, but this makes it a lot easier for you to make a sale because the book is cheaper, right? So for ebook, if you can do it for 99 cents, do 99 cents. For paperback, if you can price it below 10 bucks, then do that. And this way you can get a ton of sales during the launch phase, right? And so it'll move your book up the ranking, and later on you will increase the price, and that's when you start making more money, okay? So in terms of marketing the book, you have a couple ways, but Amazon ads is the fastest way. And that is the best way when it comes to book launches. And you don't have to start off with a lot of money, right? You can start off with just $3 a day, and only if you're making more back, you can increase this amount, okay? And spend more money. So for a step-by-step tutorial, check out this video below. And like I said, Amazon ads, you can start off with just $3 a day, $5 a day, very, very cheap. And I honestly think you should be doing that if you want to get into business. But if you really don't have the money, if you really want to do things for free, then you can also market your book for free doing social media marketing. So TikTok is the best place to do this. As an example, this brand right here, you can see that their best videos that literally got 35 million views, 29 million views, and 69, almost 70 million views are all just talking about one page of the book, right? Just literally going through the exercises because this is a guided journal, not even showing their face, nothing, just talking about one page. And so you want to post a lot of videos, right? It's not like you post one and it goes viral. You have to be super consistent with social media marketing. You're going to be investing a lot more time because it's free compared to if you do Amazon ads, but that's your choice. You're always paying with time or money. So if you have no money, use social media. If you have some money, start with Amazon ads. The best approach is always going to be doing both, especially as you grow and scale. But my recommendation is Amazon ads is the fastest way. So you start with that. And once you have a brand established, you move on to doing social media. So day 75 and later is going to be your post launch. So this is more so a maintenance phase because you're finished with most of the work. So you just kind of check, and tweak things as needed, see how the book is doing. You want to slowly increase the price as you get more reviews, which means that'll increase the royalties of your book. And you want to expand into other formats like audiobooks. I mentioned is very, very profitable, right? If your book is suited for it. Like you cannot do audiobooks if you got a low content book or a medium content, coloring book or puzzle books. That makes no sense. But if you have high content books, you can do audiobooks. And that's definitely going to add more income to your pocket. I got a tutorial video on this, but just to show you how profitable audiobooks are, we have a student who made $58,000 in a single month, and $50,000 came from Amazon KDP. So these are from ebook and paperback, but he made an additional $8,000 from audiobooks, which is a pretty good amount. So you definitely don't want to be neglecting this. So that was the entire process for one book, right? But now you want to repeat the process with the next book and the next book until you hit your desired income goal, whether that is 10K per month or 5K per month for some people, or maybe 20K, 30K, 100K per month. You just repeat the process over and over and over. And the good thing is, after you do it once, it's the same process over and over, right? You're just repeating it. So next time you do it, you're going to be way faster and way better, right? Your first book is going to suck probably, but your second one is going to be better and it's going to make more money. And you're going to do it faster too. And the third one's going to be even faster. And the fourth one, even better, right? And the fifth one, now you have other people making the book for you and you're not even doing it. And you're creating books a lot faster, publishing it, being better at marketing. And that is how you can speed up and accelerate your income process. Which brings me to the next step is once you start making money from the book, you want to take that profit and reinvest it into making more book. Try not to take profits early because that means you cannot put it back into the business. It is better to delay gratification, right, as much as possible. And so you can make more money. And once you hit 5K, 10K, wherever you're happy with, then you can start taking out a lot more money than if you take it out earlier. So that is way better. But with that being said, let's go over some common questions. These are questions that I get all the time. And the first one is, how many books do I need to make a certain amount? So let's just say, how many books do I need to hit 10K per month? So the honest answer is it really depends, right? Like you can literally hit 10K per month with one book. Like I'm going to show you some examples here. This is a How to Heal an Anxious Attachment Style journal. So this journal is doing $1,000 a day. So this one book is doing 30K a month with just 56 reviews, okay? This other one, a Successful Man journal, it looks super self-published. It has horrible reviews, and for some reason, it's doing $300 to $400 a day. So this one book is doing over 10K per month. This is a puzzle book example. It's a word search book, once again doing over 10K per month. This is a children's book example, also doing 10K per month. And we also covered this book doing over 10K per month. So you can definitely make 10K per month with one book. I've done it. A lot of my students do it. But obviously, you cannot expect to make that amount for every single book, right? A more realistic benchmark to aim is to make between $300 to $500 per month per book, which means it's going to take about 20 books to make 10K per month. Now, the big question is, even if it takes more than that, does it matter, right? If you can actually hit 10K per month, if you got a clear path to do that, are you willing to do whatever it takes to get there? Like if you're worried about the cost of producing these books, I showed you so many examples of how you can create these books yourself. You don't even have to use ghostwriters, right? If you want to cut costs. So obviously I'm not just telling you to pump out as many low quality books as possible, right? You still have to take the time, make each book good, do proper launch, for the book, market it, get reviews, make sure customers are actually happy with the book. But thanks to the improvement of AI, things are a lot quicker than before. And if you're like, oh my God, that is way too long, waiting 60 days just to make money, what is happening is you watched way too much hyped up YouTube, make money online videos, and your expectation and your perception in terms of building an online business is completely messed up. This is a real business and a real business takes time. Especially with KDP, it might take a little bit longer to build up than other businesses in the beginning. But once you do so, Compared to other businesses where when you stop building the business, it stops paying you. With KDP, it's gonna keep paying you for years and years and years because your books are gonna stay on Amazon for life, right? So once again, it might be a little slower to build up, but it's way more passive in the long run. And also it took 60 days because this is your first time, right? It's your first book and the first time takes the longest. As you repeat the process, it becomes easier and easier because you know what you're doing. So you can create multiple books at once as well. You don't have to do one thing at a time. And you can outsource and hire other people to speed up the process. Next question or comment I get often is people saying, I don't have the money to make books or run ads. Well, if you don't have the money, write the book yourself, right? Promote your book on social media, like I showed you here. There's always a way to move forward with this business, whether you don't have the time or money. Because if you don't have the time, which is the other comment I get often, well, you can hire other people like freelancers who can do basically all the work for you, right? Or AI tools that can automate your task. So you literally have no excuses. If you don't have the money, do the thing yourself. If you don't have the time, then hire other people to do it. If you don't have the money and the time, then honestly, you shouldn't even be building a business because there's nothing that you can do if you don't have the money and time, like literally nothing, right? So the first thing is you got to sort that. You have to fix that somehow. Go get a job or, fix your life. And then you can come back and invest whatever resource you have to start building your business. Now, this doesn't have to be a full-time job, right? If you know what you're doing, you can build systems to where you can literally work just a couple hours a week. Like I have a video on how I work less than 4 hours per week on my Amazon KDP business, and it does 6 figures a year, right? So almost every step in the business can be outsourced. Writing, cover design, formatting, getting reviews, ads, everything. If you want to learn more about that, I'll leave a link to this video below. So essentially day 1 to month 6, so the first 6 months, is what we call the testing phase. You're publishing multiple books to see what works and what doesn't. And once you find a profitable niche, what you want to do is to double down on it. Okay, it's focus on that and focus on getting better at copywriting, niche research, and marketing because those are the most high leveraged, high paying skills in this business. And month 6 to month 12, which is the second half of the year, is the scaling phase. So now what you want to do is to look at your top books because you're going to have some books that performs well and some that underperforms. And you want to focus on doing more of what worked, which is publishing more of the books that did well. So look at your top books and build a brand around it. Build a series under one pen name. Instead of going wider, trying out a bunch of different niches, just go deep, right? Try to serve that same audience, the same niche as much as possible. More books means more repeat customers and higher earnings so you can make more money. And your goal in this business is to increase lifetime value as much as possible. Lifetime value is basically how much can you make from one customer. And the way you do that is basically offering more books and more products that the same customer can buy, right? So if you only have one book, then the most that customer can buy is just one book, right? But if you have 10 books, then the most they can buy is 10 books, and obviously you make way more money. And that is why you want to keep serving the same audience. And the cool thing is, by serving the same audience and publishing multiple books in the same niche, you can actually do other super crazy hacks like building bundles. So bundles is essentially when you put together multiple books and create a whole new compilation book, which is free to do because you already have the book files, and it often sells better than the single books because it's a better value for the customer. Like this is a 3-in-1 crossword puzzle bundle, right? And this book is doing $369 a day. Once again, 10K per month from this one book. And this was a free book because I already had the book files. I just put it together. And eventually, as you make more money, I would say around if you're doing like, $3,000 to $5,000 a month, it's a good idea to create an LLC. Okay. So you can utilize various tax strategies as a business owner. Right? Going into this business, you can actually write off expenses like, the cost to hire a ghostwriter or book cover design, anything that you pay for in this business. Like, let's say you join my coaching program, right? That's also an expense that you can write off to lower your taxes. So there's a lot of things you can do that you normally cannot do as a employee or if you just work a 9 to 5. So if you're interested in this niche subject of saving money in taxes or creating an LLC, I'll leave a link to this video. Now, if you made it this far, obviously you're pretty serious about building a successful Amazon KDP business, because if you weren't, you probably wouldn't watch this. So if you're still here watching it, then let me know in the comments. I want to see who's the dedicated ones by saying I made it till the end. So comment that below, but also if you're serious about this and you want to go as quickly as possible, right? Because you can follow my YouTube videos for free, but it's going to take more time. Or you can shortcut the process by joining a coaching program, which I have, right? At this point, we have over 1,700 people in the program. Many of them are crushing it. In my other videos, I showcase their, successes and testimonials and stuff. But essentially, it's the first link in the description. Once you click on it, it's going to look like this. You can click on this button to apply for a free strategy call. On this free strategy call, which is 30 minutes long, you can ask us any questions about the program. We will also ask you many questions to see if we can actually help you. Because if we genuinely think we cannot help you, then we're not even going to try to sell you this program. So we don't work with people who want a get-rich-quick scheme. We don't work with entitled or rude people. And we don't work with people who we generally don't think we can help. And we also have this thing called the 6 months action-based money-back warranty. So if you come in the program, you take action, you follow our program, publish one book, and you use up your coaching calls, which we do offer one-on-one coaching calls, right? So you use that. And if you genuinely follow the program and take action, and if you're still not happy with the results, then you will get a full refund. Because if you follow the strategies and you're not happy, then we don't deserve your money. Now, this is a different story. If you joined the program and you did absolutely nothing and you're just complaining saying, oh, this doesn't work or KDP is a scam, then that is on you and not us. But if you genuinely do the work and you're not seeing results and you're not happy, then that is 100% on us. I don't deserve your money. I don't even want your money if that's the case. So we'll give you a refund, which you can ask us more about that warranty and how it works on the call if you book this. But anyways, with that being said, hope you enjoyed this long step-by-step tutorial video. If you want more of it, once again, comment. I made it till the end and I want more videos or something like that. Leave a like if you liked the video. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you guys in the next one.